Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior, and finally I get to unbox the Elegoo Centauri carbon that I bought a month ago, or well, actually I think it arrived a month ago, but I've just been so busy with some other stuff, and of course the review stack that I've had to do just to clear out my table. We're gonna go ahead and do an unboxing. It's also a documentary series of how a 3D printing noob, completely noob, is starting out. I don't know anything about 3D printing. The only thing I do know about 3D printing are the few things that I've been. Oh, let me go ahead and just open it up. So I'm not completely going into it blind. I've been watching some 3D printing face groups, going through the problems that some new users have gone through, and I've been looking at the comments and answers that the community has been giving them. So I'm kind of familiar with some of the mistakes and errors that can occur with 3D printing. So I'm kind of hopefully not going to be going into it blind. I've been watching some unboxings of the carbon, of the Centauri carbon, and just making sure everything's clear. I did get the Cora slicer that they say is much better to use than the actual slicer that comes with the Centauri. But I do have it upright just to make sure. There's this part over here that's covering the top plate of the unit. The top plate is glass, so I'm just being careful about that. I'm gonna go ahead and set this aside over here in a corner. Protected by boxes. I don't know if I'm going to. I have watched some unboxings initially, and I've kind of forgotten some of it. So what I'm going to do is what I usually do when it comes to large items that are probably going to be having an issue with how tight fitting it is. I'm gonna go ahead and do it this way. So, because I'm usually, when I'm unboxing a lot of these big items, I'm usually the only one. Obviously, one side of the unit is gonna have the front door glass, so I'm just being careful. I was careful laying it down on the side to make sure there's no pressure or too much pressure, just in case it's lying on the glass door. So when it comes to heavy units like this, I'll usually open this up and see if this is going to be an easier way of unboxing things. Get it correctly. This flap was supposed to be open as well. Now that I've done that, all I have to do is like kind of lift the whole thing up. That way I don't have to deal with the pressure. See how much easier that thing to lift is. I think it would have been so much more harder to lift it. I have been going the other way around. So looks like this is the right side of the unit. Let's toss this over here. Well, not toss. I'm not entirely sure what else is left in the box, but just to make sure. This is where the filament goes in. to be lifted through. Right now what's facing my belly is probably the glass door. Another in there. Alright, so there it is. First inspection was the top glass is good and it's not cracked. Second inspection is the front glass, which is also not cracked. There appears to be foam at the top of the unit to secure into place the oh, and then inside is more stuff here, more stuff in here. I'm gonna put this aside for now. Build plate is there. Let me do a quick thing over here. Alright, so we're going handhold over here, secure. You guys saw me remove the stuff over here. Looks like there's a build plate over there already. And the filament extruder is secure. I would need to remove that. And I think those red tags, I'll need to double check, but it looks like I'm supposed to remove those 3 screws, and this is kind of messy, so I would have to inspect the whole unit, make sure everything is nice and clear. All right, let me double check by checking out. Oh, there's one over here too. Let me double check by, I think that's the poop chute, by checking on Uncle Jesse's video and the other lady who was doing an unboxing. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've checked my 2 go-to spot, Uncle Jesse and M&M's Prop Shop. I'm looking at her screen right now. So first let's take off the tape, right? Of course. Careful with this one. This has the ribbon cable to connect your display adapter. that was really kind of secure there, and if you had just yanked that off, it's possible that you could have damaged the connectors inside the ribbon. And just lift it like that. Let's open this up, remove this, and the film. Right. And the final thing that we need to clip off is this one. I'm clipping off just the zip tie to release the extruder. I think that's what this is called, the extruder. Okay, now I'm going to open this up. Again, we are going to remove this, and this, and the tool should be in here. So let me go ahead and do that. You saw me when I took out the box, the instructions on here. More specifically, I'm looking for what's in here. What is in here is the power cable, spool holder, the monitor, and I believe these are the tools. Yes. Attach this first. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Actually, right, so unfortunately I forgot to press play again or record again. I got on ahead and removed the 3 screws, as you can see, and I've removed the sticker. And we're pretty much ready to go ahead and to plug it in. As far as I know, everything has been removed. So since I forgot to press record in a certain section of my unboxing, I'm not entirely sure if I shown removing the build plate from this one. This is from this corner. It comes, the basic carbon comes with its own build plate. This is the rough side, and then this is the smoother side. So the A side is the rougher side, the B side is the smoother side. There's this tape over here that was, I guess, would tell you. Oh, there's this tape actually goes all the way around. So, and it's magnetically attached, so that's actually kind of cool too. And wow, that's actually pretty strong. See, it snapped right in. I'm just seeing to make sure. This is the first time I've done this, so I don't know. And it's made out of metal, by the way. Also, the build plate surface, from what I've learned, is very, very important when it's printing. In terms of if the filament does not have a good surface adhesion on the build plate, then you're gonna have lifting and all the stuff, and that's when they tell you to clean it with warm water, warm water and soap dish. You've noticed me handling it with my bare hands. um, I don't know how sensitive it is to oily skin and all that stuff, so obviously I'm aware of that now. So if I have any problems with my first initial print in terms of the filament lifting, that would be my first thing I would do, is to rewash this with hot water and soap and put on gloves when I'm holding the build plate, so I'm not introducing oil to the surface. Okay, so now I think we're ready to plug it in. I just need to find a power source and I'll be right back. All right, so before I forget, let me close the door. Let's pretend to put the top first for now, just for now. I do know of an issue where the extruder head and the feeding tube is hitting the top of this. Yeah, it's slightly hitting it, and it's, yeah. Let me talk about that later on. Let me attach this one over here. That's the spool holder. Just put it in and twist it counterclockwise, and then let's attach the plug, which I've already lost. There it is. I wish the cord was longer. Right, so everything's plugged in. Did I forget everything else? Let's turn it on. As you can see, it's turning on right now. So what else did I want to talk about? So one of the things I learned about an issue is the glass top hitting the top of the extruder. And let me take it off. I really don't like to keep removing this off and on. It is glass. And I've also heard issues, one of the issues during shipping is that the glass might break and everything. Let me give you guys a shot on top. So one of the issues of the glass being put on is this filament feeder over here. If you, the issue is that sometimes if the angle is wrong or anything's restricting it, you might have the filament being fed through as an issue and catching up. That's why they print out these extensions so that the glass isn't hitting this one. It's basically touching it by that much, just a little bit, so you can see it move, and that, I guess that's enough to cause that problem. I'll deal with that later. All right, making sure that I'm definitely recording, I'm gonna go ahead and put back the glass top, and we're gonna start with the installation. I'm gonna press English as my language, confirm, and use a hex key to remove the 3 screws as shown in the image. We did that. Confirm. Ensure the chamber is free from foreign objects, then click confirm. We did that, I believe. Confirm. Start self-check process. Place the build plate correctly with side A facing up. The process is expected to last for 30 minutes. Alright, I brought in my flashlight just to make sure there is no other things in here. Alright, confirm. Start. It's gonna take 30 minutes, they say. And we'll close this off for now. And also, so they said make sure it's the build plates in A side, and I did. And as you saw me earlier before fidgeting around with the build plate, I'm just making sure that the border here is as even all throughout. So what I mean by that, I'm not sure if you can't see it. And this could just be me being paranoid as a first timer. I just wanted to make sure that, like you'll see here, there's like an edge corner here and an edge corner here. So I was just making sure everything's like properly lined up for the build plate to be secure. So we'll go ahead and close the door. It's not usually this bright. I just placed my light up there. Press start. It's gonna take 30 minutes. This will also tell me how loud this is. I've heard that the Elegoo Centauri is loud. And while it's tuning up, a few things, like I said, okay, so I told you about the glass door, the glass top being an issue with the filament feeder. I told you about the possibility that the glass doors might break on arrival. I told you about the possibility, the importance of the build plate being clean, and even the oil in your hands might be enough. If you're a sweaty kind of person and you're handling the build plate, that kind of moisture contact with the build plate might be enough to cause separation from the filament to the build plate. The other thing I wanted to talk about was stability. So I don't recommend this. My table is wobbly, as you can see. This is just for testing anyway, and I might so this is, for my understanding, obviously this needs to be precise in terms of when it's laying down each layer of the filament. So when the extruder is moving, there's a lot of movement there. You need that to be solid and secure, but I don't know how much movement I'm going to expect from the unit. Is it enough to shake the table? And when the table is shaking, is that exacerbating the print quality and everything? So what I'm trying to say is you want a very, very stable base, foundation, or anything that's resting in this one. I'm just testing it right now for tuning and everything. I don't even know where to get the testing sample. I'm hoping it's inside there in the memory. If not, then oh yeah, and then of course we have to feed the cable too, or the filament. So for that, I might need to move the unit on the floor so I know it's stable and secure, at least just for the testing phase of it and everything. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the recording at this point until the tuning is done, and I'll be right back. So far I'm not hearing anything in terms of noise, but we'll be right back. I've decided to continue some of the shots recording this one as it's fine-tuning, and I just realized if I'm gonna take this off the table for the first print and put it on the floor, ooh, look at that yellow from the vibration alone. See, the light's slightly moving. I might need to self-level again because technically it's a different surface that it's going to be sitting on. Slightly jiggling a little bit. Oh yeah, I can feel the vibration on the the table is sitting on, just by that small amount. This table is definitely not enough for it. But I don't want to cancel it in the middle of the whole thing because I don't know. See, it says do not touch the printer during self-checking, so I don't want to interrupt the self-checking thing. Ooh, you guys hear that sound? I wonder if that's the fan. There's supposed to be a light in here so we can see the inside, and there's no light right here currently. That was an issue, but somebody said that they've already brightened the LED inside to make it a little bit more brighter. I do wish the glass was clear rather than smoked. I don't know why they need to do that. This is not resin printing where UV might also, do you hear that? When it goes forward, it hits the glass. So I'm not sure if that's normal. But it is now moved on from input shaping to automatic leveling. And I think that's, look, there's something on the build plate that wasn't there before. I do know from the video you're not supposed to put the filament in during the fine-tuning or the initial startup, so I did not. And I think I will self-level again once I have it on the ground, because just to make sure. There goes the fan. It's kind of loud, but to be honest, let me turn on my fan when I'm, yeah, you're seeing my floor. Let me turn on my fan normally when it's this hot, because right now my fan is on level 1, level 2. There's level 3. This is the background noise that I'm usually listening to when I'm just normally watching TV in my very, very hot collection room, and I can live with that. I'm only saying that because I want to keep an eye on it visually on the print, at least for the first hour, just to make sure that everything is going as planned. Ooh, now it's starting to move. I can live with that noise, honestly. I'm not. I really don't like noise, but I can kind of live with that. All right, so I think everything's going well. It's now doing the leveling, automatic leveling, and I'll stop the video right now unless something happens. All right, so the leveling is done, or the initial setup was done. I've moved it to a different table, a little bit more secure, and I have re-leveled it again, and this is what it's showing, the new leveling. Okay, so now first let's set up the Wi-Fi network. I don't know, I'm just like guessing if that's why everything. So let me go ahead and put in my password. I'll be right back. Right, so I've set up my password. I went to this one over here. Hold on 1 second. I need to. First print, I'm supposed to get to that. Set the nozzle temperature to the adjustable temperature. We're gonna go with a basic 220. Z. I went and pressed this one, prepare 1 millimeter. I think this was supposed to go to extruder. Okay. It says 250 already here, but it says set it for basic 220. Oops. And then set the nozzle temperature suitable for wait for the temperature to reach the set value. Then click to go into the film and starts extruding from the nozzle. Okay, so now we're gonna put the filament into the click. And I thought the basic unit of the Elegoo came with its own filament already. Apparently it did not, which is quite surprising. Luckily I did buy 2 spools for the occasion. I thought I would have like 3, so apparently I only have 2. So let me put that on, and I'll be right back. Alright, I also forgot, so once I've installed the Wi-Fi connection, I wonder, it was supposed to ask for a firmware update. I didn't see that though. It's also, oh, here it is. You can see how responsive the screen is, so it doesn't seem to be any problems with that one. Check for update. Current version back, so we're good to go. And in terms of the extruder temperature, in the videos I saw it was 220 centigrade, but this one's already preset for 250. I don't want to get too hot for the nozzle temp. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and grab one of my filaments, which I luckily bought, and go ahead and install that. So this is one of those sealed filaments that I got straight from Elegoo, as I purchased the Centauri carbon. I purchased 2 rolls as well, which I thought was going to be 3 rolls, but so I do know with filaments you're supposed to keep them as dry as possible. I did buy a filament dryer just in case, but obviously these are sealed straight from the factory, so it should be good. There is something else I do want to note when installing the new spool. I also don't want to I want to keep track of how many grams I've used up of the filament, so I don't run out in the middle. So that's the way it is. The other thing too I know about filaments is it's very important you don't mess around with the way it's rolled, because if it gets caught somehow, then you're gonna get messed up. So the other thing I wasn't sure of, and just lies on like that, is so you know how it is with a toilet paper, you know, that the argument, does it go over and under, is the same question I have for this one. So with Uncle Jesse and the M&M prop store that I saw, their filament was being fed from the bottom up, and then their thing here, the feeder, was pointed down. So I don't know if this is movable or not, because those two are more proficient than I am in using this. I wonder if this is just velcroed on. It's not. It's actually screwed on to the side. So let me just look at other videos to see if Elegoo has changed the orientation of this feeder in response to making sure the flow is better. because right now, if the feeder's facing this way, then it has to be fed from the top. And I feel like that's an important thing to note. Alright, so I found a review that was basically 24 hours old, and it does seem as if Elegoo has switched the orientation of the feeder, so this is the right way. And I'm gonna feed it from the top side. And I will change the temperature because this is just regular PLA, and I will change it to 220. I want to crimp it or cut this at when it's the most straight. Before I do change the temperature, to 220, and I guess I'm supposed to just feed it until the until it reaches the point of the extruder where it grabs the filament, which I think it has now. So it's just gonna wait to warm up. That's the other thing too, is I'm a new guy, so there's the other thing too. I just noticed. See how it's actually underneath here, which I don't like. I think I'm gonna it shouldn't be like that. So I haven't pressed load yet, luckily. Okay. Okay, so again, as a new guy, I don't really know. There's no step to tell me when I'm supposed to press load or feed it first. So I went ahead and feed it first. 220. I'm gonna press load on it right now, and I see. Maybe I should remove it because it says. Now it's actually telling me the temperature. It's at 106. I basically just pushed or pulled it out a little bit so it's not touching the end as I felt it. Yeah, that might have been a mistake on my part. Gonna pull on it a little bit. Until it reaches 220. Once it goes to 220, I'll feed it back in again. Okay, now it's reached 220, so I'm supposed to feed it in now, I suppose. And I guess there's some sort of sensor that once it reaches a certain part, the machine will grab it. Load completed, but it's not. Push it in some more. I feel resistance though. Oh, there you go. What is it saying? Kind reminder, click complete if the filament is extruded. If not, please push forward and click retry. Uh-oh. we'll do a retry. I didn't see it extrude anything. I didn't see a filament extrude. I need to open this up so I can see visually. Click complete if the filament is extruded. If not... Oh yes, I see it now. There's a small string, so I'm going to put complete on that. Very thin though, it looks like it's almost drooping. Yeah, but I see it's kind of like pooping a little bit. Adjust the print temperature based on the material's recommended settings during loading. I guess now I can go to File, and then we'll put the Echo Crunchy Benchy. And then textured build plate side A. It's actually asking for which side it is, so I'm going to side A and then print. Now I'm gonna open it up and just to make sure. First layer prints properly. Returning to home. It's cleaning it first. I could see a smudge of filament in there. The thing says preheating. And it just dropped poop right there. Starting some sort of print now. Is a little bit of stringing that I saw. There's the fan. And you can see down there, there's a bit of string as well. There's flying string, like very, very thin. And this thing is moving and jiggling. And I really don't like that. I feel like it should be more stable. But I don't have the top on, just to let you guys know, so that the hose feeding it is free and unobstructed. It's supposed to take 15 minutes to finish. It looks like adhesion to the plate is good and solid, so I'm gonna go ahead and just watch it. It's only 15 minutes and we'll see what happens. So I just wanted to show you guys an update. It's currently 34.23%. It's printing, this is the layer lines, 192 layer lines, and it's currently at 48 layer. 9 minutes left. Temperature being maintained at 210 Celsius, which is supposed to be 220, so that's kind of, maybe because I don't have it completely enclosed, so the temperature is fluctuating. The print is going really well. I could turn off the fan if I want to by pressing this one. I believe I can pause the print and I can stop it completely, so that's kind of cool. Oh, so this is the light. Oh, there you go. So now there's an actual light in there and we can see better the print while the door is closed. Yeah, it really does look as if they upgraded the light inside. It's really bright now. You can really see right through the smoke glass. In fact, through the camera, it doesn't seem as if it's looking through smoke glass. It's very clear. I'm looking at it. From first glance, it looks like there was some sort of layer issue about 60% halfway up. It's possible, I'm not sure, I didn't show you guys, but it was moving so much that I went ahead and tried to stabilize the whole unit with my hands. And it's possible that by stabilizing it then, it actually created that line. I'll refer to this observation once we pull it out. It's kind of funny if that was the case though. Instead of making it better, I actually destabilized the whole print. It's currently 50% done now, and 7 minutes ago. Alright, coming back to it, it's done, and it's lowered the build plate, and it says on the thing, printing completed, print time 15 minutes and 4 seconds. Confirm or print again. I'm gonna go ahead and press confirm first. And yeah, now it's been a while since it's finished printing. I let it cool down because they said let it cool down first. And you're supposed to flex the build plate. I think I could just pull it off, right? Yep, it just pulls off nice and easy. Oh, that is nice. Now, is this ready, I think, to start printing again? It's got the detail in here. So I don't have to pull the filament out? I wonder. So I gotta get it ready for the next print. All right, so here we are. We're gonna expect my very first print. As you can see, there is some sort of differences from the layered distinction from this part to here. Now, I mentioned in the video earlier that it might be because I tried to secure, because it was moving too much, the printer itself, and I was afraid it was causing an issue, that I tried to kind of stabilize it with my hands. And I don't know if that's what the reason was that created that. But then I'm looking at this, it's like the lower part of this isn't really as smooth as the top part. So maybe because this is my very first print out of the printer, that maybe it was still kind of getting used to its first print. That's why it caused that. I don't really know. You'll see this part right here. It's rough and all that stuff. That's because I don't think that's intentional. I think that's because this area is horizontal or close to horizontal to the build plate, and you're expected to see something like that when you're doing a flat surface horizontal to the build plate. And I believe there are some settings, I'm not sure, during the slicing part where you can prevent that or minimize that, but I don't know how to do that yet, so I can't talk about it, but I believe there is a way to minimize that. It's really cool. Oh, here's an error somehow, as you can see, because it's not on the other side. The other side is clean, and yeah, and then it even has this in the bottom. So it's really cool. And you know what though? I wonder if this is part of the boat or if this is part of the base. I don't know. But you can see that after a certain point it looks really clean. And you can still see the lines obviously, but
I wasn't expecting it to be this clean. And I believe resin will be very, very smooth. Resin printing. But that's another venture. But I'm really, really happy with how this just turned out. And here's an underhang here. I don't know if that's meant to be flat like that or if that's part of an error, because that's a pretty large underhang. And it's right here too. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for staying and watching a complete noob enter his first foray in 3D printing. I think honestly, I think this was such an easy process that I can't believe how easy it is. Anyway, but the next part of the video, we're going to talk about orca slicing. Slicing your object, or we'll call it an object file into your computer, and then figuring out the best way that I know of, and then transferring it to the printer. Again, this is the first time I'm gonna do it, so bear with me and all that stuff. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in that next review, and stick with me if you want to know what it's like to 3D print as a complete beginner. This is it. You're gonna be falling with me and being successful with me on this video. Bye.